Okay, today I wanted to talk to you about this idea of kind of taking two keys and two homes and going between these two things in order to get a cool sound. So this is something you hear all the time, and you may not realise that you hear it all the time, but particularly in blues this is kind of a sound, right? You get this kind of just kind of the mixing up of two keys. And then the other thing is we hear it in fusion and kind of gospel style music all the time, where you go this sort of thing, right? So what is the principle that we're dealing with here? It's just moving a minor third. So to start getting into this, what I'd suggest doing, start on something like chord 4. So take something which sounds to you like chord 4. You've got a C Lydian type sound, right? Because we very clearly got that sharp 11 in there. So this is what I think of when I think of like chords that have very clear sound of being like from the 4th degree. Because you've got that extra F sharp in there, so it can't really be any other C major, right? And take that whole idea and just try and move that wholesale up a minor third. Okay, and so if you think about where is home for each of these, as I've said, I'm thinking this is chord 4, right? So the parent scale for this could be G major, right? Or is G major. And equally, this is just a parallel movement. So the movement is up a minor third. This is a chord 4 of B flat major, right? So that's the idea, right? So you take one chord from one home and one chord from another. Start off in parallel. This is a good idea, I think. So, for instance, if you're thinking about chord 1, you'd be thinking about a G major to B flat major. If you're thinking about chord 2, you'd be thinking about A minor to C minor. Equally, if you're thinking about chord 3, B minor to D minor. Chord 4 we've done, C major to E flat major. Chord 5, like a D sus to an F sus. Then E minor, it's G minor. You get the idea, right? So pick those two chords and move them in parallel. Now, what you'll find when you do this, though, is that you can then think about basically this axis of the pentatonic major minor thing. You could use this as a way to kind of navigate these changes. So when we're in the chord that's in G major, you could think about G major as home. When we're in the B flat major, you could think about G minor as home, or B flat major. And then back. That's the principle that I'm going to be trying to take you through today, and I'll just show you now in another key. So the keys that I'm thinking about here are D flat major, right? And you probably can guess that the next key that I'm thinking about is a minor third away E major. So you get that sound where you've got now what you can do, so I'm thinking in my head there's the switch between D flat major to C sharp minor, or D flat minor if you want. So put together a little loop for yourself and practice going between those with the switch, and I think you can get some really cool sounds. So you get like a D flat major, This is really good practice. Now what I also would encourage you to do is pick an exercise that can go between these two homes, and this is what I was doing in the introduction. So for instance, here's my idea just in D flat major. Start like this, and this is the basic movement. I'll put together a tab for this on Patreon, by the way, but we're going from the 1st degree to the 5th degree, to the 6th degree, to the 3rd degree again, 4th degree, 1st degree, or D flat, A flat, B flat, F, G flat, D flat, and then the same on the way back down. Then we'd move everything up one note at a time. Visualize like that if you want. Then again up, then up, then up, back down here. So that's off at the 5th, off at the 6th, then off the 7th. So in context, first of all, I practice this in D flat, try and jump between the ideas. So I'm thinking about this one starts from the root, this is the 6th, the 5th, the 4th, 2nd, then, what about if you took that idea in E major, you'd get this. Now I'm going to pick a starting point in D flat major, so I'm starting from the 5th. Then I might try and start on the 5th of E. Okay, then I might think, right, I'm starting on the 5th here, where's the first closest one that's going up from this starting point to E major? This one. And back down. So, starting point A flat major. Next closest note up is A in E major. and back down. So that could work. So we're now starting to view this going up and down the neck as a shape across keys, right? So I've got my first one in D flat major, my next one in E major, back to D flat major, but going up again we get B flat. Okay, then E major, B. Okay, and then going from B into D flat major again, be this C. And then going up again, we get to D flat or C sharp minor. Then we've got to go up again. So what have we just done? So now we're on the second degree of D flat major. Back to E major. Back to D flat on the third degree. Second degree of E major. So give that a try. I'll tab this out for you, but that's the principle. I think you can get a really cool sound. Come back down the other way if you want to. Okay, then underneath that we'd have a B. Underneath that we'd have a 6th degree of D flat minor, B flat. Then an A. Then a D flat, 5th degree. And then F sharp minor. So give that a try. I think it's really good kind of meditative practice. It's quite tricky, so you know, don't spend ages and ages on it, but if you get that idea into your head and then get it in the next key, you know, a minor third away, it's kind of a really good way to solidify an idea, and it's also quite a musical way, I think, to move between keys. I'll put up a little exercise sheet for you on Patreon. Thank you for stopping by, and that was a Pads D flat major minor preset if you want to try it. That's on HX Stomp. Got one chord on snapshot 3, another chord on snapshot 2, and no chord on snapshot 1. Catch you in another video soon. Cheers.